Dan,
Dan.
welcome to another Danisode. Slightly different.
Yeah.
You know?
We're comfy.
And you look good.
You look great.
Complimenters, look at us.
Yeah.
Our pre-chat, I have finished my hot chocolate.
Mine was a little hot. Now it's a little bit. What's warmer than lukewarm?
Warm.
Dang it. Is there what's a little bit warmer than warm? Not hot.
Oh.
In between warm and hot.
I was primed, loaded.
Yeah.
With the, not hot.
Whatever that temperature is, it's that. So it's a good sipping temperature. Or if I want to take a big gulp, I can take a big gulp.
Ow. So this Danisode, it's different. It's nighttime. We're robed up.
These are comfy, actually.
Have had our hot cocoa. And I gotta love a good Swiss Miss. A couple episodes ago, I had a shout out of my mother-in-law, and I will give my mother-in-law another shout out. Glenda loves a good Swiss Miss.
That's good to know.
I know. If you ever meet a Glenda, Swiss Miss. Yeah. And just, there's all these fancy ones, low calorie, low sugar. You know, they come pre-packed with a marshmallow. Not Glenda, the OG.
Well, I was going to say we added our own marshmallows to this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you noticed.
Thank you.
There's something about a robe. When you put it on, you just feel nice. You're friendly.
So there are times, well, not anymore, but when I used to travel, they have robes in the hotel room. I'm not going to lie. I might have put it on a few times and laid in bed with it.
A few times?
If they had robes to offer.
Let's be real. We're honest. Stands are honest, okay? Don't hide it. Own it.
But then
Have you ever had room service where you're just wearing a robe? And when I mean just, I mean just.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the whole open it and just...
Is there another way to wear a robe besides tonight? It's always only a robe, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
That's clear the air. Yeah. And I have to say, one of my favorite, because it's story time with Dan's, and we've got some stories. We've had a bit of a life, you know, and we've been
around.
There's so many directions to go, but there was one story I have to say. There's many stories, but one robe specific story or hotel specific story is Nat and I were in I want to say jet lag, but we were like a week into being somewhere, so we can't really blame jet lag for this one. And so we're on our honeymoon, and we really had more of like an adventurous honeymoon. It wasn't like, let's just go somewhere and stay in a hotel room.
You were hopping to different.
We were jumped to 5 different countries, had a jam-packed 3-week itinerary, etc. And so it was one afternoon where we were like, we're spent, you know, let's just have a nap. We're going to go out, do an Eiffel Tower tour later. And so I think just nod off. And as we nod off, had that knock, knock, knock from the housekeeping. And, you know, and when I have a nap, sometimes I'm just in my jocks. And so the knock, knock, knock. And, you know, housekeeping, we were Zeds out. And so she, you know, walks in with a trolley. Just housekeeping. You know.
Wait, so they come in while you're in the room still?
Well, we didn't make a sound. And so housekeeping's rolled on in. And at this point, I don't know how physically I did this, okay? I have gone from horizontal to like karate pose. And I have like just
on the bed.
I'm on the, and I was like, and the housekeeping lady, she didn't speak English, and at that point, and Nat and I we're newlyweds, days into marriage here, and she's, hey, and and that's then she still make color. You speak French?
Wait, hold on.
And because I was just repeating back what she was saying to me. And so, and so I just keep, and this exchange went on what felt like a whole minute.
Are you still in your boxers in this position?
in my jocks, my briefs, in my pose, and just and I know that's an Asian sound.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not real French, but I get what you're saying. Oui.
And at this point, she just turns her housekeeping cart and walks out. And that's like, you speak like fluent French. And I was like, no. And I was anyway. That was our first experience at a hotel room with housekeeping.
I've never been in my underwear on a bed
With a
in a
French-
karate pose, speaking French, with a housekeeper coming in.
It was quite the experience, I must say. And yeah, I think the surprise on her face was like, wow, you speak French.
And you're a protector. I mean, you hopped up.
Stop it. So, but I think just it's the sheer, like, from horizontal to like,
You were ready.
yeah.
And I will say, your jump up, pretty impressive.
Oh, thank you. Nat's dad, because it's fair, you know, to mother-in-law, my father-in-law. Now we spent quite a bit of time living under the same roof as my in-laws, and any time of the night, and when I say any, I mean any time of the night. It wasn't often, but like for whatever reason, you got to knock on the door or let them know something or whatever, and you know, hey, and if Nat goes in there, he responds. Now Glenda's generally out of it. He responds, "Hi, what's that? Who's that? What's that? Who's that? What's that?" It's not just once; it's every time. And Phil is just like,
Do you purposely do it at this point just to get a laugh?
just letting you know, and someone's like, what's that? Who's that? What's that? Who's that? And it goes on, like it's a good few seconds for him to be like, is there a threat? What's going on? What's going on? No, it's just me. It's Phil. It's just me. Oh, okay, Daniel. Oh, okay. Oh, that's great. That's great that you came in here. That's great. And then he just starts encouraging you. It's like he's just an encourager. So he's gone from like, what's that? Who's that? What's that? Oh, you're great. You are a wonderful guy. Wonderful guy.
Oh gosh, I would purposely do that just some nights.
Definitely.
To see the reaction.
Oh, for sure. So Dan, it's a storytelling Danisode, and obviously I've had my French person.
Yeah,
I've had my father-in-law. Give us a story, Dan.
I want to go in-laws. I'll go with an in-law story.
Mm.
When I went to Colombia, I met Lily's family. I think there on a Saturday, Sunday after church, everybody comes over. And when Lily's like, my family's coming over, she's got a massive family. So it's uncles, aunts.
Extended family.
Yeah.
It's like a Thanksgiving.
Yes.
But every Sunday.
Or anytime there's a get-together family reunion, it's like you have 50 cousins. She meets people when we're at, oh yeah, that one's my cousin. Massive family. So I was taught.
Do you want to see some birth certificates? Are you there like, hang on, no,
there's no way.
I want Ancestry.com this because I don't see, can you two next to each other?
Yeah, anyways, so there's a massive family at this after church lunch. And I was taught, as I was traveling and doing some missions work, it's like, hey, just if people offer you something, it's disrespectful to say no. Just eat it, even if it's weird, if it's different, if it doesn't taste good. Just do everything you can to get it down
and try and digest it. Yep.
Yeah. So plate gets brought out to me. I looked at it. It's this thing called pata.
Oh, I love a good pata.
Yeah, and it's like the hoof of a cow.
Ah, pata.
but it's the fatty part of it.
Ooh.
So you're taking a bite of fat, skin, sometimes hair.
Oh, what animal? Horse.
I think
Cow.
a cow, a pig, cow. It's a cow.
Pata.
We call it baka. Pata from the baka is what we like to call it.
I don't want to translate this, but what are we saying here?
Pata from the cow.
So, no.
I think I'm lost in translations.
I don't know what's pata.
It's
So-
the hoof of like a cow.
Right, so hoof of cow.
Yeah.
Hoof
Yeah.
of cow. Okay, because when I said translate, you kept saying the Spanish word. Jenna, I wanted the English word. Can you translate? Yeah, pata. All right, FYI.
I don't know.
Don't get Dan's as translated.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know how to translate pata. I guess the foot, hoof.
The shin.
Yeah.
The shin.
Anyways, it's
No?
fatty, it's hairy.
Bone marrow?
No.
No, not the marrow.
No.
Yeah, maybe. Close.
You just don't need to try it. Tons of collagen in it. You can get the collagen scoops and put it in your drink.
Absolutely.
That will
no
replace.
need to eat it from the source.
Doesn't even taste. But her uncle saw me struggling with this thing. I mean, when I say struggling, I think I was probably the last one at the table. And I'm still just taking little bites. Everything else is finished. He came and saved the day.
Oh, good. Uncle, what's his name?
I think it was Tio Mauricio or Tio. I think it was Tio Carlos.
Can you-
Yeah, Tio Carlos.
Can you
Uncle
translate
Carlos.
that?
Uncle Carlos.
Okay.
Yeah. After that, our relationship was great. He had
Yeah.
my back. I loved it.
Pata,
But I felt so stupid not finishing my plate. So that was like the
Oh,
first
Dan,
impression.
release that. Yeah, heavy burden. Don't release.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that encouragement.
Absolutely.
I don't feel bad. I'm never eating pata again in my
Thank
life.
you.
I'm gonna say no.
Pata? Get behind me, Pata.
Yeah.
Exotic food, though, I gotta say. Exotic food. Was it in the preparation? Like, how was it presented? Because often we eat with our eyes. And do you know how they say, it was it just presented as in like the bone is right there and you've got to scoop out the marrow?
I guess the best way I could describe the plate. Now this was 16, 15 years ago.
Mm,
Rice, beans,
pata.
blob of fat
Wow.
with a little hair sticking out. Eat it. Welcome to Colombia. So that we got a picture.
Oh, we're getting a picture. That's not.
That was the first meal. Just like that, actually, with the beans and everything.
Pata.
Pata. So if you ever get offered pata, don't be afraid to say no.
Oh. Is that with chicken feet on the left? Oh,
Yeah.
far from.
That's
far
another
from.
big thing. Chicken feet.
Far from. Gelatinous is how I would describe the
Gelatinous.
gelatinous.
I don't know. What that
If it
means.
is like marrow, gelatin,
Oh,
gelatinous.
okay, yeah,
that consistency. Do you like oysters?
yeah.
Okay, oysters are for the
Way better
first-
than pata.
Okay, good to know. I'm not gonna rush out and buy some pata, by the way. So I think, but I think
Pata's pig, by the way.
pig.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Oh, pata, of course.
Yeah,
Pig.
pata pig.
Oh, pig.
Yeah.
Pig. And so, what's pig in Spanish?
Oink.
Ah, nice. Good one.
Cedo.
Ah,
Cedo.
Yeah. Sailor.
Cedo.
Sailor. What
Cedo.
a ship.
Hmm?
A sailor.
Oh, sailor. Yeah.
Sailor.
Yeah, someone who sails.
Said. And so where was I? I got lost in translation.
When you're bilingual like us, it's very hard to remember and understand. What are we talking about? We went from pata. You were going to tell a great. You weren't rushing to get pata, gelatin. We were on gelatin. Oysters. Gosh, dang it, oysters.
And I know it's not as gelatinous, but it's phlegm. And really, because I think I was asked by one of my children recently, Dad, what does an oyster taste like? And the only way to describe an oyster is snot.
Mm.
And it's like,
Yeah.
why,
Yeah.
Dad? Why is that enjoyable? And I'm like, it just is, son. And so, but the thing is, and I was explaining though to them, you don't like, it doesn't stay in your mouth and you don't chew it. So it goes
You slurp.
shunk.
Yeah. So just,
And so then they were like, so Dad, why would you eat it? Because it's really like, you bypass the flavor eat part. And so they're like, I've never thought of that before.
it's the aftertaste.
Which is just like, it's salt water. So you could actually just get
100%.
just ocean and go, oysters.
Add a little bit of water without salt.
Yes.
And
yes.
because,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or if you're not near the ocean, just get a cup of warm water, just
Put some salt
bit
in
of
it.
Himalayan pink salt,
Yeah.
and just like
That's a lot of salt.
oysters are salty. And then if you want to,
Are those multiple oysters you were putting salt on, or was that just one?
and then if you want to go,
Hold on, I want to hear this, but I just gotta share this. When we were cooking, yes, I cooked. I made
Props.
Brussels sprouts
thank you.
with bacon, with maple syrup. It's not about me. We're going back to, we were cooking dinner for Callista's birthday.
Yeah.
And you told me to add some salt.
Mm-hmm.
And I added a little bit of salt.
Oh, a little.
You actually put salt in just like that. You put everything into the thing while you're putting that salt in.
It's the only way to salt. And I paused to teach you.
You did.
Because Dan's are lifelong teachers and we're lifelong learners. Okay. And so you never miss an opportunity to teach. And really, you don't just passively crack some salt, do you?
You put everything.
You really
You got the head nod and everything.
and so I think I was a little aggressive because I took that moment and then I ate the dinner and I paused halfway through going, okay, I did like the salt.
I didn't know.
Pride comes before the fall.
Hey, we're learners though. You learn.
I was, and so I think if you want to make an oyster Kilpatrick, so get your warm water, get your salt, and just a dash of Worcestershire, and then drink that. So I call that the poor man's oyster.
Which I feel like people eat oysters because they want to level up in a tier status. Like rich people eat oysters, and so it's like. That's actually, I like that. The poor man's oyster.
Like, the thing is, though, I don't understand it. Like, rich food people, it's a super obscure. Like, and it's part of it is the art of eating something obscure, and then you pay more money for it. And so I was at a party once, and they had, what is it? What's caviar, the orange.
I was going to bring that up because we saw
Caviar.
it in Trader Joe's when we were walking through. Yes.
But this, I don't even know what it is. This caviar is like, there's caviar and there's caviar and then there's this caviar. And it was like $100 for like a teaspoon of this caviar.
Isn't it eggs?
Yeah, it's just like the whole thing is just like, ugh. Like, what? But you don't eat it from the spoon. Apparently this caviar is best if you put it on this part of your hand and then you eat it from your hand. Now I've got hairy hands.
Oh,
and
you've had hairy caviar before.
I'm so thankful that caviar wasn't offered to me. It was kind of like, it was passed around a little. Does someone want to try a little bit? Someone want to try? I passed because I'm like, fish eggs on hairy hands. Like, who makes that up? Like, how is that enjoyable?
The person that thought about it was like, no, watch this.
Dan, I'm so glad you said it because it's been a big thing I'm thinking of recently. The first person. Who was the first person? The first person to go, oh, coffee bean. Oh, I'll crush it. Oh, I'll push water through it. Coffee.
Ernesto Fernandez.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
just I have no idea.
You know, Australia Day. Okay. So yeah, RVs was just an example. Another Australia Day, scavenger hunt. So we titled the scavenger hunt. We got together for weeks creating a list of all the dares. Came up about 500 different dares. And then we had all these rules. If you do 2 of them, it's 2 times. And we had all the point system. It was the grading scale was massive. So 3 teams of 4. You had 3 days to accomplish whatever you can achieve. Anything from you had to order, instead of a quarter pounder, you had to order a double pounder. So like 8 bits of meat, right, and then you had to eat that, and then you had to drink a gallon of milk while driving around a roundabout until you threw up. And so just all these.
Was there a winner? Like you got something, or was this just
to know your team won?
Yeah. Okay.
It's like,
the pride. Yeah.
But then there was this one trip. We went to the river, and on the way back from the river, I impersonated someone, and that's not me. It's old Daniel. I'm reformed, refined.
You're new.
My wife has chiseled me into
who you are today.
Who I am today. Yeah, absolutely. And I've got all the credit goes to Nat, by the way.
Of course.
God has done a remarkable thing.
Yeah.
With the help of Nat. And so I, back in my youthful days, was a contractor for Purser Industries, so primary industries, with a fruit fly outbreak. What's a fruit fly, you might ask? So in Australia, I don't know if it's here. Surely they're a global
we call
thing.
them fruit fries. I don't fruit fries.
Fruit
flies.
And French fries. And
they do come from France.
You speak French?
Yeah.
Oui. And so these fruit flies, what you don't know though is once they find a fruit tree and then they breed, they can eradicate crops. Okay, orchards gone by fruit fly. Little do you know, Adelaide or South Australia, where I'm from, again, the only state not settled by convicts. Also, the only state that don't spray all of their crops. Okay. And so if you come into South Australia, you've got to declare all your stuff. You've got to then remove all your fruit. So basically, there's big bins at all the roads entering our state, and you've got to discard all your fruit. So I was a fruit fly inspector because there was an outbreak in Adelaide, and I had to spray all the trees. But I had a badge. How much authority does a badge give you? And you're getting pictures on it, and it's Purser Industries fruit fly inspector badge.
That's equivalent to a mall cop, I feel like.
100%.
Yeah.
And so and so we're driving back from the river, and I was like, guys, I've got my badge on me. Let me pull over some cars. And they're like, yeah, you just get behind it, And then we're like, and we're looking around the car, and then all of a sudden we found someone had like a high vis vest, like a fluoro yellow. Yeah, wear that. Yeah. And then the next guy's like, you need a torch. Yes, got a torch. So got my big torch, got my badge, got my vest on, And so then they drive like a mile down the road and hide, and I'm just there, standing in the middle of the highway on a 100-degree day.
Vest and a torch.
In the middle of the highway. And in the distance, in the mirage, there's this car driving. And I'm torch out, waving, flagging down the car. Oh, yeah. And it's seen me. I didn't get run over, thankfully. High-vis vest. And I think the torch helped.
For sure.
And so this car pulls over. Lovely old ladies. 3 lovely old ladies. And so I roll in. They wind down the window. Hello, it's Daniel. Fruit fly inspector. There's an outbreak in Adelaide, and we are taking quarantine seriously here at the border. Do you have any fruit on you? On it. Deirdre, do you have fruit? Deirdre. I'm not sure, Rosemary. Guys, you're gonna have to open up the boot. They open everything up. Okay.
Background music. We like it.
You said something that woke up Siri.
Okay. Are we going?
Go back to
and Deirdre. Do you have any fruit? They think they've got some fruit. Okay. Guys, we've got to pull over. And you're gonna let me inspect it. And so they've opened up the trunk, and they pull out all these bags of fruit. And, oh no. I was like, guys. It's like maximum fine is $1,000 for bringing fruit into this state. Oh. But I'll just take it. That's okay. You know, I'll take it from you, and then away you go. Oh, thank you. You know, it's all right. It's okay. It's just this once. You know, as away they go, they drive off, and I'm just standing middle of the highway, nothing around.
I'm just imagining your buddies pulling up, and you got an arms full of fruit. Like what?
And I got my badge. You know, and the authority that gave me in the highway.
Did you have to turn that in when you were finished?
Oh, no way. No
so
way.
You potentially
I could still use it today. So if ever you need fruit.
I have some ideas. I have some dares we could come up with.
It's a long way to fly. But there was some I gotta say, that scavenger hunt, there were so many dares in that scavenger hunt.
So I guess this isn't to knock my friends. I don't think we ever created any sort of a scavenger hunt like that. But there were certain things like the dares. Like when you were saying that, it reminded me, there was like a group of 4 or 5 of us, and there was 2 lakes outside my hometown.
Mm-hmm. Legs or lakes?
Lakes, yeah.
Yep.
There was a lot of lakes. But one lake my family lived on.
Yep.
And then there was another lake that was outside of town as well. So I had some friends that had cabins there, that lived there. And so there was a Girl Scout camp there as well.
Okay.
On this lake. Well, not on it, but like off to the side of it.
Hang on.
So they had this bell that you could ring, and it was a super loud bell.
Annoying.
So, oh yeah. Like everybody on the lake could hear it at nighttime because of how loud this thing was. So we've heard stories, growing up, how people would go and sneak in and ring this bell. So we wore all black, painted our faces.
Yes.
We took a canoe because we knew if we came in from the road, they could see us with the car lights. So we went from my friend's cabin, canoed across the lake, snuck up on shore, army crawled. I mean, we probably army crawled. Did this whole bit, rang the crap out of this bell, take off running, got away scotch-free. There was nobody at the camp. Nobody chased us.
Damn.
Nobody chased us. But we still woke everybody up. So it was like we still had to get away. But we missed the chase part. So it could have been a great story.
Yeah.
But nobody chased us.
I'm also picturing as well, though, you jump in your canoe and you're paddling, and they jump in their boats, and they're and there's just them. And they're in a high-speed boat because they're scouts. Or, actually, come to think of it, they probably got a 12-man canoe, and so you're there just hustling, and then all the scouts on it.
Yeah.
Then all of them are like, 1,
in positions.
2, 3. They just
go right past
up alongside you. And then there's always like Tracy at the front of the boat who's just like, woo. And then you're stuck there like, do you stop paddling?
She shows us all of her badges that she's gotten in Girl Scouts.
Look at them all. Look at all my pins. Look at them all. I can do every knot. It's like, wow. Okay, so not a high road chase, but
no, it could have been.
Yeah,
it's one of those stories. What could have been, but it was knowing that we could get in trouble, knowing we're waking everybody up. We're probably 29, 30 years old at this time. We were like 16 or 15 years old at this time. So
it was like,
yeah.
And you were with just
but yeah. But, we thought it was crazy to do.
Oh, full stealth mode. Well, we dressed in all black once, and we had some toy guns. Now, in Australia, we don't have many guns, but we have the toy guns, and they've got the orange tips. Yes. So that's what makes them like toy.
Yeah.
So legalities is the orange tip, man, it's a plastic relax. Guess what? My mate takes them off. And so all black gun, and Australia a bit paranoid with the whole gun thing. And so I would have been like similar, 16 years old age, and my mate's like, oh, let's just go out in all black and pretend to shoot cars. So guess what? Oh yeah, sick. Like thinking about it now, like that is Daniel Volt, unrefined.
Again, you're a new creation.
Exactly, and I'm thankful to God and that. And so there we are, just like hiding in bushes freezing cold.
Are you making noises? Because those don't make
I
noises.
think I had like when you and it,
Oh, okay. So it sounds like a real gun.
and I think like my mate at the time like really was into SWAT movies, and so he was like living his best life, and meanwhile I'm like, I got him. No one down. Oh, he drives off. Oh, I didn't get him. And so then we're like, okay, we had a bit of fun, and I think the issue was we then went to the service station, gas station. So we went to Servo, probably guess a can of Coke or something to celebrate our victory. I think we left our plastic guns at the door, and then we walk home to his place. I don't know to this day. I don't know how. The cops show up
At his place.
at his house. Knock, knock, knock. You know, and all of a sudden it's a big deal. Like, and I was freaking out. Like, cops are there. Like, take me. Okay. Yeah. And from that moment, then all of a sudden, then my dad walks up. I'm just like, huh? I need to probably call Dad to find out. Like,
How did he find out?
how did they get out info? Like, I'm just like, and it was the longest car ride home. Being told off by Dad. Just a solid half an hour of just silence. But sometimes, you know, silence is
Those
definitely,
are
you know,
worst.
yeah. And just like, I know I'm in deep trouble, but like,
Did you think about on the way home
mm,
as you're sitting, just pulling the gun out and just
or imagine if you do it in your pocket. like, yeah. And then in your mind you're like, yeah, I won. Little does he know. Got him.
so we had a fun one. Cops have been called a few times. One of my friends lived in the nice neighborhood of our hometown, golf course. And so it was a couple miles outside of town. And there was 2 entrances to get into this really nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
And we would take duct tape and we would tape it from one sign to the other sign on one entrance.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So if cars saw it, they would stop. They would get so confused, back up, go forward, and then they would have to go all the way around. Some cars wouldn't see it. They just come flying in and they'd hit it. Just doing that at a neighborhood like that probably wasn't the smartest thing, but
it's fun.
oh, it's so fun.
And harmless.
Definitely.
Exactly. Well, Dan, it's been fun. We're in robes, having a hot chocolate. It has been a blast, I've got to say. And so what we're doing in these episodes, it's a bit of a special episode, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And bedtime stories, you know, with Dan's. And if we want to know your story, what is just like, give it to us in however you want to, write it, send it in, film it, whatever you want to do. We want to know your story because we've got plenty more. But I am very keen, very interested to hear your story. We've all got them.
Plenty. And we want to just, and maybe if it's a good enough story, you can hop on with us.
Oh, for sure.
Share it. We would love to have that. Have you.
Or we will just steal it.
And say it was us.
That's it. Well, we have enjoyed the stories. We hope you've enjoyed the stories. As I said, comment, share, send. Thanks for watching.